And first up on the Pendulum, it's Andrea. And she's going to be facing Gazelle. Over to John Anderson.
Set the Pendulum.
This is Andrea's first pendulum swing in this Springbok challenge. Gazelle's so called because she goes hell of a pace round this pendulum. High on the ball while Andrea sticks to the equator. Lisa, her sister, directing the operation. The wing walker from Cornwall should be able to cope with anything the pendulum has to offer, but can she cope with Gazelle? A quick change of direction. And Gazelle not quite so sure-footed as her namesake from the animal kingdom. Andrea looking uphill and down dale for any gazelles that might happen to be gambling by. There's a 10-point prize if Andrea can avoid being caught for a full minute, a fiver if she stays out of trouble for 40 seconds. And that she's done, but Gazelle quick on the hoof and she knows where Andrea's hiding. Andrea moving very smoothly, almost always one move ahead of her stumbling opponent. The Gazelle will be hard-pressed to take the flag from Andrea's back. A few seconds to hang on. Looks like Andrea's going to leave the pendulum 10 points better off. A good tactical play from the United Kingdom's representative pulls the maximum from this event. And Andrea's mum, Trish, happy with that. Lisa, pleased to help with those directions. Andrea smooth on the sphere. Never really troubled, even when Gazelle got close. Gazelle slipped and blew it badly.
Next up on the Pendulum, it's Charmaine. And she's going to be facing Vogue.
And a look at Vogue's stats will reveal she's 1.67 meters tall and 1.63 meters, which means South Africa's Charmaine is just a centimetre taller and 5 kilos lighter.
3, 2, 1.
Charmaine rode the pendulum in her heat last week, lost out badly to Lightning, who finished her off in double quick time. Now, how will she fare against Vogue? Vogue over the top, moving fast. Charmaine responds. South African supporters have their hands full, but not as full as Charmaine if she's to keep Vogue at bay. Vogue knocked down to Charmaine's level yet. The contenders look up to the Glads, but not quite like that. Though Charmaine's escaped the danger for the moment. Vogue scrambling down the pendulum. Charmaine needs to survive for 10 more seconds to score 5. Vogue seems to breathe down her neck, but suddenly Charmaine's gone again. Charmaine's good for 5 points. Vogue coming back at her. And Charmaine escapes again. Can Vogue take it this time? Charmaine's lost her shoe. Vogue has got her. Took 47 seconds, but Vogue finally gets the job done. Let's see that finish again. Vogue stumbles down. Charmaine pulls away again. Her shoe gets trapped between Vogue's leg and the netting. She can't pull it away, and Vogue claims the flag.
Well, Vogue, but I have to say, Charmaine certainly gave you a good run for your money.
That was the quickest chase around the pendulum I've ever done, and I've done this quite a few times. I think she put her foot caught, so her shoe came off, so that helped me a little bit.
You took advantage of her mistake. Charmaine, it got stuck up the ears. So I was actually caught up in the coordinator. Well, listen, not all is lost. You were up there for 47 seconds. You pick up 5 points. That's it for Charmaine and for Vogue.
Scores in the ladies after 2 events. Andrea 10, Charmaine 5.
So we now move into the men's event with Mark. And he's going to be facing Jackal.
The South African Jackal shapes up like this, 1.85 meters tall and carrying 90 kilos of weight around with him. Thumbs up.
3, 2, 1.
This is a return match on the pendulum for Mark and the Jackal. In their heat, Mark lasted the full minute and gratefully accepted 10 points. Mark's brothers Jason and Adam and his girlfriend Nadine figuring that actions speak louder than words. Mark can see where the Jackal is and what he's up to. The Jackal well remembers last week being made to look a jackass by Mark Mottram. And they're pleased with Mark's hiding ability, let the Jackal pass over him and remain completely undetected. Having a cackle at the Jackal's expense, keeping his head down along with the rest of his body. 40 seconds looming large, which is more than the South African Jackal is. Mark all by himself, no one with him to celebrate the 5 points he's just scored. Sudden burst of enthusiasm from Jackal. Still not completely sure where the mark is. Mark seems to have the measure of his man, who is beginning to look a little dog-eared. Now he's on the case, but I think he's left it too late. All but 5 seconds to go. Mark's going to scarper and score 10 points. Good work from the contender. The referee's hooter finishes the contest. Mark celebrates with a thumbs up. Mottram celebrate with the knees up. Adam grabbing an illicit cuddle, knows we've seen him and fronts it out. Mark stayed low and ducked down to allow Jackal to pass right over him, making the most of the experience he gained as 1996's Gladiator champion.
Last up on the pendulum, it's Brian! And he's going to be facing Shaka!
Shaka has already been embarrassed by Brian, 1.73 m tall, 75 kilos in weight and 105 centimetres round the chest. Brian better equipped height-wise, 17 centimetres taller, weight-wise 10 kilos heavier.
3, 2, 1.
So there's nothing little about Brian Whittle. He's a star in international athletics and now he's representing his country on Gladiators. Waiting for Shaka to appear on the horizon before he makes a move. Shaka's to the left, so he'll shake it to the right. Shaka looks the business, but very often goes belly up. Brian knows the scores currently stand at 10-10, so a few points here will maintain his lead over Mark. Shaka not looking comfortable on the sphere, and the guys are poles apart at the moment. Wife Dawn and daughter Rachel cheering Brian on. Looks like the 5-point barrier is about to be breached. Shaka with no idea where Brian is. In fact, no idea where he is. Chalk up 5 to Brian. Hardly a cracker from Shaka. Not even close to figuring out where Brian might be. Into the last 10 seconds and Brian's heading for the maximum. Just has to swing it out and hold on before taking another 10 points at Shaka's expense. I should imagine Brian is curious to know that there was actually somebody after him. There's the hooter. Full marks to Brian Whittle. And Dawn tells Rachel she can take her fingers out of her ears, but of course Rachel can't hear her. What did you say, Mum? Here's Brian for a chat.
Brian! 10 points! You certainly had your porridge this morning, didn't you, my love?
Well, I go after Mark every game, so every point he scores, I've just got to keep putting the pressure on him. So that's one of my games, and I'm happy with the 10 points.
Let's hear it for Shaka and for Brian. Well done.
2 down, 3 to go. 10 points for Mark, double that for Brian.